Hi, my name is Erin Moog, and I've started doing these YouTube videos about my experience with long COVID. I am definitely finding that each week it gets a little harder to do the video, but I have committed to at least doing once a week about the experience. Today I'm going to read an excerpt from this book that's called let's see, The Deep Places, a memoir of illness from Ross Douthat. I'm sure I'm butchering his last name, but I believe he's a conservative columnist in the New York Times, and it's all about his experience with Lyme's disease. And it was really powerful, and I resonated with it so much, and I feel like anybody who deals with some kind of chronic condition will really resonate also. So I want to read it. It may take a little time, but I think it's important, and I think that a lot of people will understand what he's talking about, and I'd love to hear your comments. Share them below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this because I definitely can relate. To get sick and fail, to get better, is to realize the harsh truth of this insight. Human beings have a great capacity for kindness, empathy, and help, but we are more likely to rise to the occasion when it is clearly an occasion, a moment of crisis, a time-bound period of stress. In the aftermath of a hurricane, society doesn't usually fragment. It comes together in solidarity and support. Likewise, with families and individuals facing suffering in the moment that it descends, or when a terrible arc finally bottoms out. Not always, but very often, people behave well, with great generosity, in the face of a mortal diagnosis, a mental collapse, an addict's nadir, not least because in those circumstances, there are things you can clearly do, from the prosaic, making frozen dinners for a suffering family, to the more dramatic and extreme, like flying across the country to help drag a friend into rehab. But when the crisis simply continues without resolution, when the illness grinds on and on and on, well, then a curtain tends to fall, because there isn't any obvious way to integrate that kind of struggle into the realm of everyday life. It's not clear what the healthy person is supposed to give to a friend or a family member who isn't dying, who doesn't have some need that you can fill with a discreet act of generosity, but who just has the same problems. Terrible, but also, let's be frank, a little boring day after depressing day. So I'll stop there, but there's a lot more. But I just want to summarize what he's talking about and how I can completely relate to the experience with long COVID. At the very beginning, it was such a crisis, and everybody was reaching out for help. And I was reaching out for their help at the same token, too. They would take me grocery shopping, friends would take me to doctor's appointments, they'd come and visit me, and I would encourage that sort of visit also. But I always believed it was temporary. And I believe that's what all my friends thought and family thought too. And I was getting better. And I thought I was out of the woods. And then I went back into the public school systems, and everyone was sick around me again with COVID and flu. Teachers and students were dropping like flies. Not that they were dying, but they were all getting sick and having to go home, quarantine, wear masks again. And my system collapsed again from all the viruses that were around me. And this time it was so different. I felt shame. I felt a sense of failing, which I believe he talks about, this author, in that excerpt that I just read. And I know that's not healthy, and I know I didn't fail. But there is this level of, I couldn't do it. And it was kind of two sides of the same coin. I started feeling friends dwindle away from engagement. It's not that I've lost friends, but I've learned that if you're not engaging in life, life stops engaging with you. And while friends were dwindling away and their level of engagement with me has dwindled away, also was my reaching out, because there's a lot of emotions that occur when you think you have gotten better. I equate it to hope and trying to climb on a wooden ladder and the rungs just keep breaking. Eventually, you just get tired of reaching out for people, and there's just a sense of a lot of negative emotions, whether it be failure or shame or despair or lack of hope. But I've just stopped. And my life consists of trying to live in the present moment, not going too far out, reaching with the olive branch to engage with friends and family. And I know it sounds sad, but it's all I can do at this moment. And it's just all I can manage right now for my sanity is to only live within the environment that's in front of me and not reach too far out. And I'm sure some of you can relate. Anyone who's dealt with pain that doesn't seem to have an ending can relate to just the disappointments and the despair and how difficult it is to keep going. And I do believe in keeping hope. Even on my darkest days, I tend to get back on the horse the next day, over and over and over again. And hopefully that never stops. But my hope is for you too, that you don't give up. I don't think you need to give up. I think you just need to start each day anew. Look for the positives when you can. Find the things that you're grateful for. Work within your window of tolerance and limitations. And you can get through this, just as I'm making my way through it too. If you can relate, please put your comments in the box below. Like, subscribe, do all the things to help support me and grow this channel as I navigate not being able to work within my profession anymore as a public educator. Thanks and much love.